say what you want about Steven Gerrard as a player and as a coach, but he was certainly he was pragmatic here first time round. If he had to sort of batten down the hatches at Rangers, he would do that. If he had to, stepping up the midfield, he would do that. He wasn't this sort of idealist that Russell Martin is, who will play his way come rain or shine. And I just think that makes me wonder if the people involved, if Gerrard is a legitimate candidate, as we believe he is certainly on a long list at the very least, if not a short list. Then do they really know what they're looking for? And in that sense, does that make me think that maybe there could be somebody else completely? Because as I say, we get these strong signals, obviously from Spain with the reports over there with Ancelotti. Gerrard's camp, I must have said, are very quiet. There's not much being said at all. Certainly, his agents aren't saying anything at the moment. Not that they ever do it, to be honest. They're not the most opening, and when it comes to the media. And then obviously the Russell Martin links. Obviously, he's out of work right now. He's looking to get back in. I think these Leicester rumours are very strong as well. So I agree with you, Keith. I think there's potential for another twist this year. A name that hasn't quite come out yet. I just I wouldn't be surprised at all if we saw a really left field name come out in the weeks to come, in the days to come. I don't know if that's what the Rangers fans want to be hearing right now. I think they will be anxious to get this concluded as quickly as possible so they can get on to the real business. And the real business is signing players and overhauling our squad. Because I think I've said before in the hotline, whatever manager comes in, I still don't think that's the big thing that has to happen at Ibrox this summer. I think it's the squad. The squad, doesn't matter who you put in charge of the squad that they have there at the moment, they're not going to be able to challenge Celtic. They're not good enough. They need a vast overhaul of that squad if they're to make a serious go. Anytime soon, never mind next season. It needs big work in that. So I think that the Rangers fans, they want to get this, get a name settled and secured and signed. But after that, that's when they want to see the manager get down to proper work, because we say the team returns to pre-season training on June the 23rd. First qualifiers a month after that, July 22nd. So, there's literally not a second to be wasted right now.
What's your gauge, Andy, on where the Rangers fans are at with the whole Russell Martin idea? Behind it, not behind it? I'm getting the feeling that might be a bit of a hard sell.
Yeah, lukewarm. I think it's difficult because, there's obviously the Gerrard factor will be divisive as well. I think some fans are of the mind never to go back, sort of thing, and especially when you look at what Gerrard's done since he left Ibrox. But I think for a lot, and I would say the majority, I would think fans would just like to have that figurehead, that lead character type aura that Steven Gerrard brings. I think they would like to see that. I think for a lot of fans, they look down the years and past characters that have been in charge. It's it's a Souness, it's a Smith, it's a Jock Wallace, big men, big characters, forceful characters. I think they would get on board with the idea of that coming back. But I think that the Russell Martin thing, like it or not, I think a lot of it will be sort of coloured by his own time at the club. It was a fairly dreadful time to be a Rangers player, and he certainly didn't do much to sort of improve the situation. He's 6 months up here, so he was obviously coming to the end of his career. His legs were very much on the wane, and obviously it was the season before Gerrard came in. I think it was. So I think maybe that, but then you look at his. And obviously his Premier League, the record this year was abject. Southampton very lucky not to go down with a record points low. He was obviously relieved his duties long before the end of the season. But I think what you can look at is his Championship team. They won it with a certain. They get promoted, with a certain amount of flair. He's obviously got a style of football that he wants to play, and he sticks to it rigidly. I think that was maybe his undoing this season. You've seen the amount of goals that Southampton lost trying to play out for the back with players that just simply weren't good enough to do it at that level. That I think would be a major concern as well, that if he's going to start having Clinton Ciala try to dribble out of defence.
Could be interesting.
That might some of the more how do we say Brexit type of Rangers support Brexit ball fans might be thinking up, just get up the park, mate. So I just wonder how if he's going to be if he's learned from that rather chasing the experience in the Premier League this year, where his team were picked apart time and time again, but continued to play this adventurous system when puts me Sean Dyche type when we getting caught out like that. So
yeah.
It's interesting, the whole thing. You're right, Andy, as well, and the variety of different sort of candidates that they appear to be assessing. There's not a trend. It doesn't seem there's kind of two approaches here. There's flexibility and there's philosophy, and there's a kind of scattergun here. It's not as if they've profiled 5 guys that all kind of do something similar, just with their own little twist on it. Completely different. So but I think I'm hopeful that by the beginning of next week things should start to be a little bit more easy to understand, Andy.
We're getting plenty of comments, and if you want to get involved, please do so in the discussions below. We've got a few people asking about Celtic, the team for the weekend. We will talk about that a little bit later on, but just to kind of finish up on the Rangers stuff. First of all, Keith, Gianni's written in saying Daniel looks as rough as they come. I wasn't even drinking last night, so that's good. Thanks very much, Gianni.
Just to be confidence booster, you need Daniel.
Exactly, I know, absolutely perfect.
Unbelievable. 1 minute
me and Keith are hanging, and we look great.
1 minute you're riling, the next you're looking rough as anything.
Exactly, I know. Right, on to the business though. Haining says Russell Martin's got disaster written all over it. He'd get eaten alive. Jimbo says it's got nothing to do with his time at the club. He's a Warburton. Plan A isn't working. Plan B is do better. On Facebook, if I can find it. Johnny says, Maurice Ross and Russell Martin, it must be April Fool's. Geez, that's to be one of the most underwhelming management career in Rangers history. I think he means appointment. Yeah. Stephen says, if it's between these two, Gerrard or Martin, I'd rather have Barry back. And James Hall, with an impassioned plea, says, Barry and co, get them a 3-year contract and rebuild the team. Stop getting all the time wasters. Barry's heart is there, and that's such a great foundation for the club. He knows the place inside out. He knows the fans. Anyone else a waste of time. There is no one mentioned with fantastic experience. Rangers cannot afford another big-time manager. Give it to Barry. He'll be a success given the opportunity. He deserves a chance. And just to round off on that, Hoopsaholic simply says, don't go on your holidays yet, Barry, if I can find the comment. So yeah, plenty of comment coming in. If you want to get involved in the discussion, please do so. You can get involved as well, Keith.
I think the good ship Barry has sailed. And listen, I'll pay at the risk of repeating myself. I did say, I've said a couple of nights, I found the decision, the rush to make a separation with Barry Ferguson and his backroom team, I found it odd. I find it even more odd now, because I could have understood it if they'd got their guy nailed down and in a position to announce him on the Monday. Clearly that's not the case. So they've got a team in there that was a potential safety net, and they've let it go. I mean, how embarrassing would it be for Rangers if they did end up in a situation where they had to go crawling back cap in hand and say, hey, Barry, know how we kind of thought you weren't the guy? Well, I mean, that would be ludicrous. But